You've been walking around with this feeling lately, a distinct, undeniable sense of change operating deep within your core. On the surface, everyone sees the same person, perhaps even the same routine, but you know better. You recognize that your internal landscape has been subtly but profoundly altered. The way you react to stress, the things that capture your attention, and the direction your life seems to be flowing are all different now. It's as if a quiet, unseen force has been restructuring the foundations of your being, and you're only just starting to wake up to the magnificent spiritual transformation that has already occurred. This isn't a change you orchestrated. This is a destiny set in motion. What if the awakening you've been searching for isn't something that's about to happen, but something that has already finished? There is a sacred pivot point in the life of someone chosen, a moment when the divine blueprint takes precedence over human awareness. God places His indelible signature, His seal, on your spirit long before your conscious mind acknowledges it, before you feel worthy of such a blessing, and definitely before you can fully comprehend the scope of what is unfolding. This defining moment doesn't announce itself with dramatic spectacle, flashing lights, or celestial trumpets. It begins silently in the innermost sanctuary of your soul, a place entirely inaccessible to the outside world. You won't suddenly find yourself wearing a halo or radiating visible glory overnight. Instead, you'll simply find yourself different. You'll start perceiving nuances you never noticed before, feeling a profound internal gravitation toward an unknown destination, and responding to life's chaos with inexplicable calm. The burdens that once crushed your spirit now feel strangely manageable. The confusion that used to paralyze you now gives way to a sense of unerring guidance. Your spirit is actively being drawn along a path you didn't consciously select, yet it feels instinctively right, the only direction you were ever meant to take. The most astonishing part of this revelation is its timeline. This transformation did not start with a recent crisis, nor did it begin this month, or even when you think you committed to a change. It was initiated at the very instant God etched His seal onto your existence. This divine act has been quietly, yet powerfully, re-engineering your spirit from the inside out, perfectly synchronizing you with a mighty purpose that was meticulously drafted for you long before your first breath. Today, we are going to illuminate the 7 unmistakable signs, the sacred pieces of evidence that confirm God has already sealed you, revealing the inner shift that has been happening far longer than you ever consciously recognized. Before we dive into these deep truths, if you feel an immediate quickening inside you right now, a powerful pull, a deep sense of resonance, or a quiet confirmation that this message is for you, please signal that feeling. Give this message a like so it can find others who desperately need this powerful insight. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, because what you are about to discover will fundamentally change the way you perceive your entire self and your journey. And as a final act of affirmation, comment 99 below. This number, often used to symbolize the many God leaves behind to pursue the one chosen soul, signifies that heaven has already been on a deliberate journey to claim you. Sign 1. Your compassion is now a spiritual instinct when the divine seal is placed upon a chosen soul. The metamorphosis always begins not on the exterior, but within the deepest chambers of the heart. Suddenly, the emotional responses you once managed to compartmentalize now strike you with stunning force and clarity. Empathy and compassion no longer just touch you lightly. They seize you, stirring your deepest passions and settling heavy in your chest. It's as though the very heart of the divine is trying to communicate its concerns through your amplified sensitivity. You find that you simply cannot tolerate the cruelty, dishonesty, or coldness in the world that others easily shrug off. This intense, almost allergic reaction to human suffering is one of the strongest proofs that you have been marked by heaven. You start detecting the pain people desperately try to mask. Someone can flash a perfect smile, yet an unshakable inner voice whispers to you, they are breaking. Look deeper. You don't possess logical proof, you simply know. This isn't emotional weakness or overthinking. It's the activation of a spiritual antenna, a heightened sensitivity specifically calibrated by God. You no longer observe people with just your physical senses. You see them with profound spiritual insight, sensing atmospheric shifts and detecting sorrow the moment you step into a room. Your heart is beating in alignment with a higher rhythm, tuned to notice the same invisible wounds and care about the same crucial details that the world overlooks. Because of this radical change, you are simply incapable of pretending not to see what your spirit highlights. You cannot disregard the truth. Your intuition detects or silences the signals that heaven insists you must address. This profound sensitivity is not a curse, but rather a powerful divine assignment, a clear sign that your soul is aligning with a higher mission and that God trusts you with the wounds of the world. But if your heart is now sensing what others ignore, what subtle guidance has the divine been placing in your life that you've yet to fully acknowledge? Sign 2. Coincidences become undeniable orchestration for a soul that has been sealed. The concept of a coincidence simply ceases to exist. Your reality begins to feel too perfectly synchronized, too intentional, and too divinely precise to be attributed to mere randomness. The moment your spirit urgently needed direction, a precise, unsolicited phrase appears. A scripture verse seems to float in front of you with surgical accuracy, answering a profound question you had not dared to speak out loud. A brief encounter with a stranger leads to a simple comment that completely reorients your entire internal world. These moments are not accidental. They are irrefutable fingerprints, the quiet, subtle traces of a guiding force that often prefers perfect timing over dramatic announcements. Your inner spirit is becoming an instrument finely tuned to the frequency of heaven, meaning what others perceive as noise now translates into coded messages intended solely for you. This is the distinct way that sealed individuals are led, not by earth-shattering thunder, but through perfect alignment, not by loud, booming commands, but through undeniable orchestration. This profound shift can be so strange that you might even question your own perception, catching yourself thinking, could this moment really have been designed just for me? The answer is a resonant yes. When the divine seal is active, your path becomes a carefully curated journey. You start seeing recurring patterns. An insightful idea surfaces at a moment you considered wrong, yet it proves to be exactly what you needed. A door slams shut abruptly, only for a far superior one to open before you even have a chance to panic. An inner impulse tells you to wait, and that period of waiting reveals a crucial piece of information you would have missed if you had rushed forward. These seemingly small signs are spiritual breadcrumbs strategically scattered along your path, guiding you with gentle precision. Only a sealed soul can truly recognize them, because your spirit has transcended pure logic and now operates through revelation. Sign 3. You possess unearned strength in crisis. Every chosen soul will face moments in life that absolutely defy any logical explanation. These are the times when the weight of the world felt impossibly heavy, when your emotional and spiritual resources were completely depleted, and life delivered blows you were absolutely unprepared for. Rationally, you should have fallen apart. Emotionally, you should have been devastated. Spiritually, you should have been shattered, yet you endured. Despite the pressure that seemed intended to squeeze the very life out of you, an internal power refused to be extinguished, pulling you back to your feet. This resilience was not merely self-determination, sheer willpower, or a stroke of luck. It was the seal, a divine reinforcement woven into your being, active and ready even before the conflict began. People on the outside have no comprehension of the force that kept you intact. They assume you handled the difficulty with grace, never knowing you were constantly moments away from complete surrender. This strength was never truly yours. It was a potent, divine energy woven into the fabric of your spirit. This is what truly differentiates the sealed. When others crumble under betrayal, you stand taller. When others drown in heartbreak, you learn to breathe through the pain. When others are lost to disappointment, you somehow discover clarity. The paradox here is that the intense battles you survived were never intended to destroy you. They were designed specifically to expose the seal. This mark of the divine is revealed only when tested by intense pressure, the same way gold's purity is proven by fire. Each breakdown you survived became a spiritual signature, irrefutable proof that a higher power was bracing the impact for you, whispering encouragement into your very bones when you were too weak to even form a prayer. The persistent whisper of, "Not yet, don't fall, don't quit, this is not your end," was not an echo of your imagination, it was evidence. If this hidden seal kept you whole during your darkest trials, what monumental preparation is it putting you through for what comes next? Sign 4. Guidance comes as a gentle, inner whisper in the journey of every sealed person. A time arrives when the guidance of the divine shifts from a grand, echoing announcement to a subtle, yet powerful, inner conviction. You cease waiting for overwhelming supernatural visions or dramatic external confirmations. Instead, a much quieter, exponentially more potent force becomes your primary guide. You experience sudden, razor-sharp clarity rising from nowhere, effortlessly cutting through confusion like a beam of pure light. A powerful gut feeling compels you toward a choice that defies all logic, yet your deepest being knows it is absolutely correct. You might receive a dream so detailed and precise that it leaves you with an unshakable certainty. This was not mere subconscious activity. This was a direct message. The part that often surprises even those who are sealed is how natural these whispers feel. They don't arrive with a mystical aura. They feel familiar, almost like your own internal thoughts, yet they carry an undeniable purity, weight, and directional certainty that your unguided human mind could never generate. These gentle nudges are spiritual downloads, precisely coded messages from a power that does not need to shout at those who have already learned the discipline of listening. This is why your guidance feels gentle rather than forcefully loud. Your spiritual faculties have matured. Your discernment is keen, and your connection has deepened to a level where the softest whisper holds more authority than 1,000 external shouts. You have noticed the profound difference. While others ignore their intuition, you cannot afford to. While others hesitate in uncertainty, you move with quiet confidence. You no longer require external confirmation from multiple sources. You simply know. The whisper may tell you to pause, and later you realize you narrowly avoided a serious danger. It may tell you to step forward, and you walk directly into an unexpected blessing. The most astonishing reality is that the whisper always arrives before the evidence. Sign 5. Gratitude becomes your unwavering reflex. An extraordinary and profound shift occurs when a chosen one is sealed. Gratitude fundamentally stops being a reaction to good fortune and transforms into a continuous, spiritual reflex. This change doesn't happen because your life suddenly became easier, kinder, or more predictable. In fact, often the opposite is true. You have faced disappointments that should have permanently hardened your heart, endured losses that should have emptied your soul, and survived seasons that should have left you bitter and resentful. Yet, gratitude persists within you, rising like an inextinguishable light. You begin to genuinely thank the divine for circumstances that would cause others to completely despair. You give thanks for painful endings because a deep intuition confirms they were necessary course corrections. You express gratitude for frustrating delays because you sense the hidden protection behind those closed doors. You are even thankful for the people who walked away, recognizing that their absence unlocked crucial parts of your identity that would never have awakened if they had stayed. This is not simplistic optimism or willful delusion. This is divine perspective, the sacred capacity to perceive destiny where the world sees failure, purpose where it sees pain, and precise direction where others see only loss. Gratitude for a sealed soul is never rooted in current circumstances. It is anchored in deep, unshakable revelation. You give thanks not because everything is currently making sense, but because you know with absolute certainty that the divine is moving on your behalf, even when logic completely fails. This profound inner knowing completely changes your interpretation of pain, rewires your view of obstacles, and converts setbacks into valuable signals. When life unexpectedly hits where others spiral, something in you immediately stabilizes. This spiritual posture grants you the ability to spot blessings others overlook, discover lessons within wounds, and find open doors disguised as painful disappointments. Sign 6. You forgive with supernatural speed, one of the most telling, quiet indicators that God has placed His seal on your life is the almost shocking alteration in how you handle deep hurt and betrayal. Your ability to forgive is no longer tied to the severity of the offense or whether the person ever offers an apology. You forgive because an immutable force within your being refuses to remain chained to the very thing that sought to break you. Where resentment once felt like a natural reaction, it now feels heavy, alien, and completely incompatible with the elevated spirit you are becoming. The bitterness that once could have deeply rooted itself can no longer find purchase in your soul, because your sealed spirit simply refuses to host anything that does not align with your divine purpose. The seal chemically alters your spiritual makeup. What used to trigger and trap your thoughts now dissolves much faster than you can logically explain. It's not that the pain doesn't exist, it's that the pain no longer holds ownership over you. You have observed the strangeness of this. A betrayal that once would have consumed you for months fades within days. A harsh word that would have burned in your memory now passes through your spirit without leaving any residue of lasting damage. Others might misinterpret your reaction as suppression of your emotions, but you know the truth. You are not suppressing. You are instantly and strategically releasing it. This rapid forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, submission, or passivity. It is a profound transformation that only heaven can produce. Forgiveness for the sealed is not primarily a gift you give to the offending party. It is a potent declaration of freedom over your own spirit. It is the crucial moment you choose alignment with your destiny over toxic attachment to your pain. Unforgiveness is a cage, and you were sealed to prevent you from being trapped in the very places from which you were delivered. Sign 7. A peace you cannot explain anchors your soul. There is a final, unmistakable sign in the journey of every sealed individual. A profound, almost supernatural stillness that settles inside them. A quiet anchor that refuses to be shaken even when the entire world around them is in chaos. You have undoubtedly felt this. The world may be loud, entirely unpredictable, and reeling in confusion, yet your spirit remains strangely and mysteriously held, governed by a force that completely transcends your current circumstances. People observe your life from the outside and genuinely wonder how you are managing not to collapse. They see the magnitude of the storms you navigate and the heavy responsibilities you carry. Yet they find you calm where panic should reign, steady where fear should dominate, and grounded in seasons where confusion should overwhelm. The most powerful truth is that even you don't fully grasp the depth of this peace. There have been nights when you should have been weeping into your pillow, but instead, an immense, quiet reassurance washed over you. There have been days when you should have snapped under the intense pressure, but a strange clarity guided your every thought. This peace is not human-made. It is not the product of therapy, self-help, or emotional maturity. You did not manufacture it, you received it. It descends upon you precisely when life gives you every rational reason to fall apart. It steps between you and your anxiety without needing permission. And what makes this peace a true sign is that it arrives before anything in your external world improves. Before the answer comes, before the breakthrough manifests, before the resolution is found. This is not the peace that results from resolution. It is the peace that comes from an active revelation, a deep knowing that the divine is already in the very middle of your storm, fighting unseen battles and protecting you in ways you will only understand later. This inner stability is the loudest confirmation that God has marked you, claimed you, and filled you with an internal strength that cannot be stolen or compromised. The final revelation, claiming your sealed identity now, with all these signs laid bare, the truth stands before you with undeniable clarity. The profound transformation you've been sensing did not begin with your recent challenges. It started long before you understood the signs, and long before you could even articulate the mystery your spirit was undergoing. Every heartfelt shift, every instance of unearned strength, every moment of peace that defied explanation, every whisper that redirected your path, and every supernatural act of forgiveness was a crucial piece of evidence, a sacred signature etched into your soul. This is the proof that the divine did not wait for you to feel completely ready. He placed his seal upon you precisely when your life required protection, purpose, direction, and a new solid identity. It is the final, powerful proof that heaven claimed you before you even began to comprehend the monumental significance of being chosen. Your next chapter is not about becoming someone special. It is about confidently and boldly stepping into the extraordinary identity you have been carrying this entire time. It is about walking forward with the unshakable awareness that the seal is already active, already guiding, and already perfectly shaping every doorway you approach. You are not standing on the sidelines, waiting for transformation to arrive. You are actively walking within its current right now. From this moment forward, you will view your life through a new lens, not as someone desperately searching for God's hand, but as someone who already permanently bears his undeniable imprint. You are a soul who already belongs to the divine story being written through your life, someone sealed, someone marked, someone powerfully protected, someone chosen. If even one of these profound signs resonated deeply with your soul, or if something within you has finally recognized the truth of who you are, then anchor this revelation into your spirit. Declare it with conviction. Comment below, "I am sealed by God." Let these words be more than just a passing sentence. Let them serve as a spiritual alignment, a powerful declaration that from this day forward, you will never again underestimate the magnitude of who you are, the sacred purpose you carry, and the divine presence that walks with you. Your story is shifting dramatically. Your sealed identity is rising. Your purpose is just beginning to unfold its full power. Stand in it, walk in it, own it. You are sealed, you are chosen, and nothing in this world can unmark what God Himself has claimed.